It is the last day of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Thailand for the ASEAN Summit. He held a bilateral meeting with his Japanese counterpart at the summit, Shinzo Abe, in Bangkok. India's Foreign Ministry spokesperson took to Twitter to share a glimpse of the meeting. The tweet read, and I quote here, PM Narendra Modi met with Japanese PM Shinzo Abe on the sidelines of ASEAN in Bangkok. Good discussion on preparing the ground for India-Japan 2+2 dialogue, an annual summit later this year, unquote. PM Modi is currently attending the 14th East Asia Summit. The main agenda of the summit is to review the future direction of East Asia cooperation and exchange views on regional and international issues. This is the 6th time that Modi is attending this summit. After the summit, the Prime Minister will hold talks with his Vietnamese counterpart, who will host the ASEAN Summit next year. Modi will also meet his Australian counterpart. And then comes the most crucial part of his visit, the RCEP Summit. The RCEP, comprising the 10-member ASEAN bloc and 6 other countries, India, China, Japan, South Korea, Australia and New Zealand, is started to facilitate the creation of the biggest free trade region in the world. The leaders will review the state of negotiations that have been ongoing and decide on whether to sign the deal. However, chances of the deal being signed appear to be fading as we speak. Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad has said that the negotiators have failed to come to a conclusion. According to a draft statement by Southeast Asian leaders, the deal is unlikely to be signed until February 2020. The draft agreement and that most market access negotiations have been completed. Outstanding bilateral issues will need to be resolved by February. Without naming India, a Filipino official said that it was the only country that is yet to agree to the RCEP deal. So all eyes are now on India at the summit. In an interview to Thai media, PM Modi spoke on the RCEP negotiations. He said, and I quote here, India remains committed to a comprehensive and balanced outcome from the ongoing RCEP negotiations. We recognize the high ambitions of our partners on goods. We would like a win-win outcome. We believe that for this, addressing our concerns over unsustainable trade deficits is important. It needs to be recognized that opening the vast Indian market must be matched by openings in some areas where our businesses can also benefit, unquote. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump will not be attending the ASEAN meet this year. For the first time, the US is being represented by US National Security Advisor and US Commerce Minister instead of the Vice President or President. This comes at a time when Trump has been accused of retreating from the region after pulling out of an Asia-Pacific trade pact almost immediately after taking office. Addressing a regional forum, US Commerce Minister Wilbur Ross insisted that his country is extremely engaged with Asia. Ross also pushed back against criticism that America has turned its back on its Asian allies.
We're also engaged in a long overdue reassessment of our trade relationship with China, and we are very far along with phase 1. The Trump administration is extremely engaged in and fully committed to this region.